Welcome back, guys. And today we're going to be talking about the Raptors. This is our Raptors episode. Little disclaimer here. I don't know if it's a disclaimer or more just information. Uh, this is solely um gonna be if the Kawhi Leonard trade goes through. If this trade does not go through, this video will have no um what do you call it? It won't have any importance because I'm not gonna act like it's not. So I'm just gonna talk about strictly maybe that trade and then their other offseason signings. I'm not going to be like, oh, if Brandon Ingram stays here, if Grady Dick stays, so because it's not going to be a very different team. So I don't think it's going to be much different than last year if the Kawhi trade doesn't go through. So let's get into it. So the Raptors last season had a very good year for their preseason standards. They were the 3 seed about a month in, and they cooled off a little bit, but they ended up sneaking into the playoffs, and they played the Cavs in the first round, and they really had a solid chance of winning. And in that game 7, it was very in the Raptors. It was very possible the Raptors could have won that, and they win game 7. They probably move on to play the Pistons, and I think the Pistons also or I think the Raptors probably would beat the Pistons, and been a conference finals appearance for the Raptors. So I got high hopes for this team, adding Kawhi Leonard to it. Uh, Obviously, we all know Kawhi Leonard traded to the Raptors for Brandon Ingram, Grady Dick, few picks. Um, Really not that. It's a pretty small package for Kawhi. He's old, injury history, but he did just come off his best season of his career scoring wise at what is he 35, 36. So definitely a definitely a good trade. It's a risky because if Kawhi gets hurt, well, but you just let up some picks. They're going to sign an extension with Kawhi, and they're going to, they're losing Grady Dick and Brandon Ingram. They weren't really great parts of their teams. Even though Brandon Ingram was a All Star last year, his postseason was so horrible, and it's not like Jalen Duren's postseason where, his regular season was so good. Brandon Ingram had a fine regular season. He did make the All Star season, but he did start to cool off at the end. So I think getting off that contract is very big for them. Anyways, the Raptors. What's their outlook look like? The whole point of this video, the Raptors' outlook. Well, the Raptors are gonna be a playoff team again. Hold on, let me count my brain. Knicks, Celtics, Sixers, Raptors, Heat, Pacers, Pistons. Yeah, okay. So they'll be a playoff team again. It was like the only 7 that I'm like, yeah, they're gonna make the playoffs. Then you got the Hornets and all the other teams, but aside from those 4, um, yeah, aside from those 4, that's gonna be, or aside from those, fuck, what am I saying? The Raptors are gonna be a playoff team again, whether that's they're gonna be in the play-in and make the playoffs, or they're gonna be a top 6 seed. I'm not sure. I personally think they are going to be better than the Pistons next year. I know that might be hot take to say. I was not a fan of the Pistons last year at all, even though they did win 60 games. I was very much, I'm not a believer in this team, and they did almost get first rounded by the Magic. So, not really, scared of them at all. I do think they're going to have a drop off. I could see them as the 6th seed. I don't think they'll be in the play in, but if Cade misses some time and they don't have any other creators. They didn't get anyone. So yeah. But I could totally see the Pistons taking a big fall and the Raptors kind of taking their spot, not as the 1 seed, but as like a top 4 or 5 seed for sure. Raptors could definitely host a playoff series next year. Um, do I think they have championship aspirations? Kawhi Leonard's on their team, so yeah. Kawhi Leonard and Scotty Barnes is a good enough tandem to carry you to a championship in theory. I do think that they are not a favorite. I don't think it's likely, but anything is possible. I'd say the 22 Warriors is a similar idea of preseason expectation to this team. All-time great player in Kawhi and Curry, and then not like the expectation of they can do it is there, but it's not like they're gonna do it. If Jamal Shed takes a big leap, if RJ Barrett continues to be RJ Barrett from last year, there's definitely some things. I do think they're gonna need to upgrade in that center position because unless Jakob Pertl really just had a bad year last year and this year he becomes more of his former self, I do think they're going to need some upgrade there. They didn't really address that anywhere, but unless you count Kyle Anderson as addressing that, but that is a forward. Kyle Anderson's really good. He's kind of like old decrepit Scotty Barnes in a way. I feel like that's a pretty good comparison for him there. But yeah, definitely definitely a good team this year, and I could see them going pretty far for sure. You can't really look at a Kawhi Leonard team and be like, yeah, that team's not going to go far. I've looked at that with every Clippers team he's been on, and even though they haven't, that 2021 Clippers team, he did get hurt. Sucks. Do they beat the Bucks that year? I'm not sure, but look, Kawhi's back. Kawhi's back in Toronto. He's got a 100% win rate there. If you think about that, I don't think they're going to win it this year, but I'm saying there's definitely a good chance. And you can see what I said about the Nets yesterday. Definitely didn't say that. So if the Nets win, blame me. Holy shit! If the Nets win, I'll take 10 shots right here on camera, like back to back. Probably die, but I'm that certain the Nets aren't going to win. So, anyways, the Raptors though, I wouldn't make that bet because I think there's a solid chance. I'd say, they're probably like around the 10th best, like their top 10 team. I'd say. Just thinking, I'm not ranking them yet. I'll do a power rankings video on Saturday, so I'll talk a little bit more about it, every team. That's gonna be a little bit weird because it's gonna be all 30 teams, obviously. So I think I'll do East West. I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah, that's the Raptors. There's not much more to say. They're a great team. They're gonna be an elite defense. I'm gonna really love that defense. I've always wanted Scottie Pippen to get an elite offensive scorer next to him. And he's had RJ Barrett, and RJ Barrett's good, but he's not elite. And Kawhi is elite. And the thing about Kawhi that, someone like an Anthony Edwards that I've really wanted to see next to Scottie, even though that's like a fantasy. Kawhi brings a Hall of Fame defense along with Scottie Barnes' potential Hall of Fame level defense. And I definitely think that defense by itself, even if it was Kawhi, took a pretty big drop in scoring this year, that those two defensively by themselves with RJ Barrett and quickly, and then maybe a revitalized Pirtle or just someone else at center. Maybe they trade for Miles Turner. I don't know. You never know, but that team could be very deadly, and I'm looking forward to seeing that, and I'm really excited to see it for sure. But yeah, anyways, that's it for the Raptors. Like I said, on Saturday, I'm going to be doing the rankings episode or the power rankings episode. I think I'm going to just do Western Conference because I've been doing the Eastern Conference with this series. And then once I finish the Eastern Conference with this, I'll probably do the West. I don't know. We'll find out because that's going to be in 10 days. So maybe just Sunday or something I'll do East. I don't know. I don't want to do them all in one video because that would be like a 3-hour video. And personally, I don't got time for that. So, anyways, if you're still here, thank you for watching. And if you're still here, subscribe, like, come on, give me some interactions. Need them. You know, I want my content to reach enough people where I can get more feedback, and I feel like it's going pretty well. So, pretty good start. Thank you guys for watching. If you really are here, please subscribe. Like I know a lot of the times, YouTubers will say, YouTubers will be like, "Hey, subscribe," and you'll kind of just tune it out because every YouTuber says that. But genuinely, please, subscribe. It's the button's right down there, dude. It's not that difficult. Yeah. Anyways, thank you guys for watching, and please, be safe out there, and just excited to see the Raptors next season. See ya.